Opening arguments start today for the impeachment of former President Trump. We'll have more on the trial. Plus, a Southwest Missouri assistant principal facing child pornography charges is fired. And the Joplin Police Department gives tips on how to drive in dangerous wintry weather. We'll hear what they say you need to do to stay safe on your morning commute.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour, Pitt State men's basketball team is on a winning streak. We'll hear from Coach Anderson as the team heads into final weeks of play before the MIAA tournament. And a new poll shows the majority of Americans prefer to split the bill on the first date. For our Something to Talk About, we're asking, who do you think should pay the bill on the first date? That's a good question. But first, to check on your forecast.
Got a good idea for you. How about stay inside today? How about instead of worrying about going out and splitting the bill, how about don't leave the house? That's going to be the best thing to do because, number one, we've got just tremendously bitter cold weather, but more importantly, we've got snow coming down, and then we also, too, have freezing rain down to the south. We've got a mess on our hands. Bottom of your screen, we run that list of closings, whether it be organizations, activities, businesses, and I know the big one everybody's looking at, schools. It really starts from the central portion of the four states, works its way south. We've got a number of districts that are off today with winter weather advisories lasting all the way till 6 a.m. That's consistent from what we saw yesterday. Live look from the Freeman Health System sky camera where we've got the flakes in the air, only at 19 degrees. Feels like it's 8 right now. So we not only have the freezing drizzle, some snow, but also frigid cold temps. Nobody even close to the freezing mark, ranging really from about 14 to 24 degrees. Factor in the north wind, 1 in Yates Center and Iola, 8 in Webb City. Feels like it's 17 in Commerce. And remember, those temperatures will continue to drop throughout the course of our morning. Look at the cold front, how south it's penetrated right now, making its way through the Arklatex region, headed into the deep southern portion of the United States. We're only going to be in the 20s today, and we're not even done with our precipitation. So bottom, I-44 and below that, look at that. It just keeps on training through. Snow in the central and southern portions. Then as we get through Wednesday, it really turns into mostly snow as it passes through, which not a bad thing. A little bit easier to drive in that. Then we get a break finally Thursday afternoon. One thing we will not get a break from, those are the cold temperatures, as we're going to be stuck in the 20s as those overnight lows continue to dive into single digits as we head to the weekend. And we're to the point now where we can honestly say dangerously cold, not only because just because of the temps. Now we're talking about an elongated affair. Yeah, I mean, this is going on to day 3. Right. Yeah, now we're getting serious.
After driving on the roads this morning, I'm actually surprised there's not more schools that haven't called in.
Wait, because you and I come from a certain place where our snow was wet with Gulf moisture and packed, okay? You drop down south of where you and I were coming from, that ain't snow. That's freezing rain.
Yeah.
Then we start talking about ice accretion. We're going to be at 0.2 of an inch here before we hit sunrise.
No matter where you go, there's a fresh layer out there, and you don't know what's under that fresh layer.
So I'm going to follow the advice of Kansas Department of Transportation, Missouri Department of Transportation, Oklahoma Department of Transportation. If you do not have to go out today, don't go out.
Yeah. And if you do have to go out, make sure it's not for a long period of time because it is very cold.
Right.
There you go. All right, thanks, Michael. Opening arguments are slated to begin this afternoon in the second impeachment trial of former President Trump. On Tuesday, the Senate voted to continue with the proceedings after hearing arguments as to its constitutionality. All 50 Democrats said it was constitutional, and they were joined by 6 Republicans. The Nixa, Missouri School District fired an assistant principal who is facing child pornography charges. The court affidavit says 41-year-old Colby Fronterhouse pretended to be a 14-year-old girl, sending sexually explicit messages to a 13-year-old boy. Authorities say Fronterhouse got the boy's cell phone number through school records. He had been placed on administrative leave, but the school board yesterday voted to fire him. The wintry weather has led to dangerous road conditions. Driving on snow, however, is different than driving on ice. While both are slick and hazardous, officials say you can get a little more traction on snow than you can with ice. In either case, the Joplin Police Department says you need to play it safe.
Decrease your speed, decrease your following distance, allow several cars of distance between you and the vehicle in front of you to allow you to stop. And if you do lose control, try to maintain your composure, steer out of it if you can.
Missouri Highway Patrol says icy conditions contributed to a fatal crash on Highway 13 about 5 miles south of Bolivar. They say a 46-year-old Michael Dickinson of Bolivar lost control of his pickup, traveled through the median, and then overturned into the path of an oncoming SUV. Dickinson died at the scene. The weather led to a head-on crash in Newton County involving 2 semis. The Missouri Highway Patrol says a Freightliner on I-49 south of Neosho crossed the center line and hit another truck head-on. The driver of the second truck was taken to Mercy Hospital and has been listed in serious condition. A woman held at the City Justice Center in St. Louis is speaking out about conditions there. The mother of 3 spent 3 days at the center last fall. Her comments come as city leaders deny claims about demands for better conditions at the facility. Morgan Young reports.
Every report that is coming out about St. Louis Justice Center is so true.
Last September, Savannah Clark got pulled over in the city for expired tags. She had a warrant in the county, so she was arrested and held at the Justice Center.
I was there 72 hours and I didn't get to call anyone. My family didn't know where I was.
The mother of 3 says her kids were with family, but it took 3 days for her to be taken to the county and post bail. She says what happened in that time shocked her.
It's not supposed to be a pleasant experience. However, you're still a human being and people are supposed to treat you, a certain way.
She says she wasn't in a cell, but in what's called a tank, which was filthy.
Old fecal matter, spit all on the glass that you can tell has been there for like months. Old blood hanging from the toilet stools, tissue that had already been used that was like all over the floor. Old trays with old food that had grew mold.
Did you eat in the 72 hours that you were there?
No.
Were you offered food?
No. They wouldn't even give me sanitary napkins. By the time I was released, my clothes were a mess.
She wasn't on the floor or in the unit where Saturday's incident happened, but she says after only a few days, what she's hearing is similar to what she saw.
I don't care what these people did. And then you can't say they did it if they haven't been convicted.
And many in this facility have not. While she says she would have handled things differently, she gets it.
After a while, you get tired.
Again, that was Morgan Young reporting. Clark added that she saw other detainees treated badly. The Doghouse, a restaurant in Miami, is teaming up with a local resident to bring warm food to anyone in need. Sandy Williams reached out to restaurants in the area to create a meal wall where anyone who needs a free warm meal can get one, no questions asked. Anyone can pick up an item from the menu and pay for it. The restaurant creates a ticket and hangs it on the wall for anyone needing a meal. If you're in need of a meal, just let a server know. 507.
Conditions on this Wednesday morning because we got a little bit of a mess on our hands, and we're going to start from the Missouri Department of Transportation. Now your purple is going to indicate covered, which is going to be not only I-49 but also I-44. That is completely covered. That blue, as you go down to the south, that's partly covered, but I want to point out that blue, that's also going to be freezing rain. So it's not going to be snow covered. No, you're going to run into ice down there. All right, Kansas Department of Transportation, we've got 69 that is completely covered as you go through Cherokee up through Crawford. Highway 400 completely covered as we traverse up 69. Doesn't get really any better until you get on the other side of Prescott headed toward Pleasanton. And 400, it just stays covered all the way to Fredonia. In Oklahoma, Right now, we're looking at Ottawa, that they're going to say is moderate travel conditions from the Department of Transportation. Then, as you move down to the south, they are calling that severe weather conditions.
Be safe out there, please. Just be safe. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, why Patrick Mahomes is heading into surgery today. Plus, how the new COVID variants could reverse the positive trends that we've been seeing. And we'll take a look at why 68% of Americans prefer to split the bill on the first date. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Live from KOAM, you're watching the KOAM Morning News. This is the 4 states' most watched news.
What if I told you that it's free to find out if Aaron Sachs & Associates can help? We don't get paid until you get paid.
Really? Is that true?
It's true. Your first call is free, and we don't get paid until you do. Call Aaron Sachs & Associates.
Do you love doing something different every day?
Do you love to visit new and exciting places?
Do you love meeting new people and building lasting relationships?
Do you love being able to see the work that you've accomplished?
Then you'll love being a peerless business development owner.
Backcraft in Baxter Springs is now hiring. Work in a climate-controlled environment and earn up to $1,000 in bonuses your very first year. Apply online at novalex.com/careers or come in for open interviews every Tuesday from 9 to 4.
Do you just want to find a cleaner, easier way to use your fireplace? Call today to add a Harmon pellet insert. Come in now and see all the Hearthstone stoves. Make your appointment to add White Mountain gas logs to your fireplace. Only at the Fireplace Shop, where we stand behind everything we do.
4 state heroes from KOAM TV and your Midwest Ford dealers.
For a great time, Winning Ways delicious chef-created entrees, live weekend entertainment, and your favorite gaming machines. You need to go where everybody goes. Indigo Sky Casino. More ways to play for your chance to win your share of over $800,000 total cash and gold rewards play. In February, Indigo is the place to party, stay, and play, where our guests come first and always deserve a good time. Indigo Sky Casino, Highway 60 west of Seneca, Missouri.
Her drunken arrest made headlines. Now she's here.
Why did you get out of your chair?
I don't know.
You have no idea why you got up or where you were going.
New Dr. Phil.
Weekdays at 3 on KOAM TV.
What if I told you that studies show on average you could get more money when you hire a lawyer than if you handle your case on your own?
Seriously? I guess it'd be worth a call.
Seriously injured? Call Aaron Sachs & Associates.
Pitt State Gorillas heating up. Life is all about timing. They're headed into the final few weeks of play right before the MIAA tournament on a nice little winning streak. Our own Danny Terzer with a preview.
Pitt State has found their stride, winning the last 5 games.
We're starting to kind of gel. I think our chemistry's gotten a lot better. I think that guys are more accepting of their roles and they know what they do well.
Each player on the floor can and has made an impact.
We're a team that's probably devoid of a superstar, but we have a lot of really good players, and they all do different things.
Pippins had 27 points and 7 rebounds in last Thursday's game. 2 days later, Antonio Givens went off, scoring a career-high 20 points.
We're still trying to go into each game showing we want to win ball games each and every day.
The Gorillas are improving and exceeding expectations. They were ranked 7th in the MIAA coaches preseason poll.
It is a big chip on our shoulder, and we're just trying to keep chipping away and keep cushioning on our spot so we can have a good spot to go into the tournament.
They have some tough games before then. Pitt State hits the road to play number 3 ranked Northwest Missouri on Thursday. To continue on at their current pace, they've made a game plan.
I think preparation, I think try to keep an even keel. We try to take it a little bit easier because guys have played, we played 17 games now, so it's that time of year when guys need rest during the week so that they can play those two games in 3 days on the weekend.
Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that story. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes expected to have surgery today. Mahomes sustained his injury, what is commonly known as turf toe, in the divisional round of the playoffs against Cleveland. And of course, he played through the end of the postseason, didn't slow him down on Sunday. He was on the run multiple times. As a matter of fact, the NFL stat tracker saying he ran some 497 yards while being pressured by the Tampa Bay defense in Super Bowl 55 alone. Mahomes made no excuses regarding his toe and the Super Bowl loss. Said he was able to play well a few weeks ago, and that in football you have to battle through injuries. Now rehab, going to take months. As a matter of fact, this is his big toe we're talking about. There are some estimates this thing could take up to 6 months to rehab. He is expected to make a full recovery and return in time for the upcoming season. Chiefs country, Browns country, Charger country, Washington football team country, the entire NFL. Fans mourning the loss of longtime head coach Marty Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer passed away on Monday at the age of 77. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2014 and recently been placed in hospice care. Hired by the Chiefs in 1989, spent 10 years in Kansas City, and it happened to be his longest stint as a head coach with any NFL team. In those years, he had 101 wins and only 58 losses. In his entire career, he accumulated 200 regular season wins, puts him in the top 10 among winningest coaches in NFL history. Marty Schottenheimer played a large role in my NFL fandom as a kid. I grew up the son of 2 Cleveland Browns fans. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, officials debunking the theory that COVID escaped from a lab in Wuhan, China. And a check on our 7-day forecast for the KOAM Morning News returns.
The President's Sale at Slumberland.
Come on.
Slumberland Furniture has the best prices around, and right now everything is an additional 25% off.
Well, hello, Slumberland.
Get your look for less at the huge President's Sale at Slumberland.
At Metro Appliances and More, we offer everything from guaranteed low pricing on entry-level appliances to the most comprehensive selection of premium brands. If you're remodeling or building your dream home, stop in and browse our extensive display of gourmet kitchens featuring today's hottest brands and products like induction cooktop, wine storage, and coffee center. You'll find it all at Metro Appliances and More. The right price on the right product right now.
This is Brad at the 66 Auto Center, home of the Dent Shop and Green Flag Automotive, where we say we can fix that. My wife tells me the most important parts of a car are the brakes and seat belts. If you carry precious cargo, visit us and let us make sure your most important equipment is working properly. For sales, service, and repair, the 66 Auto Center, where we say we can fix that. 2 miles east of Range Line on 7th Street.
Can trust us to make it look like new. The Dent Shop, we can fix that.
High Winds Casino wants you to win your share of cold, hard cash.
Icebreaker.
Earn entries now and be at High Winds on Saturday, February 13th and February 27th, when each night 6 winners will get to punch through the ice to reveal a big cash prize from $500 to $5,000. Visit highwindscasino.com for details on Icebreaker and all of their daily promotions, and be sure to follow High Winds on Facebook for even more ways to win. High Winds Casino, just east of Miami on Highway 10.
Bridgewood Cabinetry is a nationwide provider of kitchen and bath cabinetry in Chanute, Kansas. We are currently looking to add new members to our diversified team, including production, information technology, computer programming, AutoCAD, accounting, and general office. Benefits include health and dental, 401k with match, paid vacation, and more. Apply online at bridgewoodcabinetry.com or in person at 908 West Chestnut in Chanute. Bridgewood Cabinetry. Opportunities, benefits, security.
He's thinking new mattress. She's thinking, well, a lot of things. It's okay. Get an extra 25% off our already low Slumberland price. The Sealy Posturepedic mattress on closeout for only $529. Our biggest sale of the year at Slumberland Furniture.
There we are, a little past 5:17. Great time for weather on the 7s. Now, even though the radar is picking up the freezing precipitation, get rid of my name there. You don't want to see my name. You want to see what's right here. On I-44, we've got snow, freezing drizzle that is making its way through the southern portion, multiple slick spots. We've got dangerous road conditions out, even the southern portion up to the central and the north, getting its fair share of snow right now. That's why we've got winter weather advisories for all our counties in purple, lasting all the way into Thursday. From the Freeman Health System sky camera, 19 degrees is where we stand. Only feels like it's 10 right now. So all that snow and ice, it's not going anywhere as we see wind chills in the single digits as you progress up to the north and the cold front penetrating into the deep south. Not a whole lot of reprieve from the dangerous cold temperatures, and more importantly, watch what Future Track has in store as the freezing precip sticks around all morning long, turns into snow for the evening hours, and we don't get a break until Thursday. Now, once we do, after Thursday morning, it just stays cold all the way into the weekend. Look at those overnight lows all the way down into the single digits. As we turn our attention now to the KOM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll, asking you, who do you think should pay the bill on the first date? That's right. It's not political, folks. Somebody's going to make it political, I know. That's why you guys are fun. That's why I love hanging around you. Also, our Insta poll, KOMNewsNow.com/vote. We'll break this down, get you your comments and your results here in just a little bit. Health Watch, next.
Buy more, save more. During the fantastic 4-day sale at Furniture Row. That's 4 fantastic days to save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Plus 7 years no interest and free shipping. The fantastic 4-day sale at Furniture Row ends Monday.
What the hell? Is your roof ready to withstand the 4-state area's crazy weather? For a new roof or a minor repair quote, call Glidewell Roof, 918-533-0761.
Lander Chevrolet of Joplin is your official We Buy Cars headquarters. Used cars are in high demand and we're buying. Just come into Lander Chevrolet of Joplin and in as little as 15 minutes you'll have an offer in your hand. We handle all the paperwork and pay you on the spot. Even if you don't buy from us, your car could be worth more than you think. Fast, simple, and safe. Visit LandersBuysCars.com and get money for your car today.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your entries.
Receive an entry for every 25 points earned at Prairie, Sun, or Moon. And then choose which vehicle you'll speed off in style with. 3 vehicles, 3 months, 3 winners. Only at Prairie, Sun, and Moon casinos.
Hi, I'm Jack. My parents get our cars fixed here at Neptune Auto. It's a pretty cool place. If you need a snack, they have popcorn and drinks. The guys that fix your car are pretty cool too. They can figure out just about anything. And it doesn't matter what kind of car you have, they can fix it. Remember, Neptune Auto, I'm Jack and I recommend them.
It's the fantastic 4-day sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Or get the Summit Firm for only $189.99. Plus 7 years no interest and free shipping. Hurry, the fantastic 4-day sale at Denver Mattress ends Monday.
Topping Health Watch this morning, despite a dip in new U.S. COVID-19 cases, the U.S. has yet to control this pandemic. And new data suggests the virus variants could reverse positive COVID trends. Mandy Gaither has more.
National emergency, and the approach we are taking reflects this.
As the number of new daily COVID cases across the U.S. is trending down, officials are urging Americans to keep their guards up.
The continued proliferation of variants remains of great concern and is a threat that could reverse the recent positive trends we are seeing.
The latest U.S. data shows mutations of the virus are spreading. Nearly 700 variant cases in at least 33 states, most of them the variant first identified in the UK. But officials are certain there are more out there that have yet to be identified.
Over the last 3 weeks or so, we've increased our sequencing about tenfold. So as we look more, we're certainly anticipate we might find more.
Health experts say the 2 vaccines currently authorized in the U.S. are effective against that variant, and the best defenses against further virus mutations is to get as many people vaccinated as quickly as possible and continue public health measures, wear a mask, stay 6 feet away from others, and wash your hands.
I recognize that the pandemic has taken an enormous toll on all of us. But if we all work together and take these prevention steps, we can finally turn the tide.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health experts also continue to urge Americans to not only get the coronavirus vaccine when it's available, but to also get the second dose of the same vaccine on time. Researchers in London are looking at conditions including chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, and even depression to help treat patients suffering from long-term symptoms from the coronavirus. Some symptoms of COVID, depression, and other mental health problems are linked to low-grade inflammation. So scientists hope replicating treatment for those disorders could help COVID patients. The latest coronavirus relief package under consideration in the House would make health care more affordable for some Americans. The bill from Representative Richard Neal would increase Affordable Care Act subsidies for 2 years. During that same period, it would lower costs for middle-class Americans who earn too much to receive financial assistance now. Under the plan, enrollees would not pay more than 8.5% of their income for health insurance. Those changes would be part of President Biden's relief package, temporarily fulfilling a campaign promise. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Cloudy with not only freezing rain down to the south, but light flurries, if not snow, moving through the central portion. Best thing to do today, especially as you traverse farther south of our highlighted counties, is don't travel if you don't need to. Winter weather advisories stretching all the way into Thursday morning as temperatures are not even close to the freezing mark, and overnight lows continue to get worse as we head toward Valentine's Day weekend. All the latest on the Skywatch weather app.
The wait is over. Girl Scout cookies are here. Across the Girl Scouts of the Missouri Heartland,
Good morning, I'm Tanya Bach with your KOAM News Update. The Nixa, Missouri School District fired an assistant principal who's facing child pornography charges. Court affidavit says 41-year-old Colby Fronterhouse pretended to be a 14-year-old girl, sending sexually explicit messages to a 13-year-old boy. He had been placed on administrative leave, but the school board yesterday voted to fire him. Wintry weather has led to dangerous road conditions. Driving on snow, however, is different than driving on ice. While both are slick and hazardous, officials say you can get a little more traction on snow than you can with ice. For the latest road conditions in your state, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on road conditions at the top of the page. Well, the Doghouse, a restaurant in Miami, is teaming up with a local resident to bring warm food to anyone in need. The organizer reached out to owner Jennifer White to create a meal wall where anyone who needs a free warm meal can get one, no questions asked. Here's Michael with today's forecast.
Just to reiterate what you said, Tanya, the best thing to do today, especially as you traverse to the south, is really not have to try to get out of the house. Dangerously cold temperatures and weather conditions with freezing drizzle persisting throughout today. All the latest on the Skywatch weather app.
Local Plunge reach its goal of $35,000.
Opening arguments start today for the impeachment of former President Trump. We'll have more on the trial. Plus, a Southwest Missouri assistant principal facing child pornography charges is fired. And the Joplin Police Department gives tips on how to drive in dangerous wintry weather. We'll hear what they say you need to do to stay safe on your morning commute.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Tanya Bach. Coming up this half hour for something to talk about on the KOAM News Now Facebook page. We're asking, who do you think should pay the bill on the first date? And our own Jesse Irwin brings us another Wildcat Wednesday. But first, a check on your forecast.
Heavy cloud cover, bitter cold temperatures, and yes, not only freezing drizzle to the south, but also snow that's made its way into the central portion of the 4 states. More importantly, really want to concentrate on our central counties down to the south because the freezing rain is resulting in ice accumulation. We've got a number of cancellations running across the bottom of your screen. Of course, you can not only find those at KOMNewsNow.com, but updated road conditions, which may be the most important thing today, on there as well. Winter weather advisory lasting all the way to Thursday. Let's take a live look from the Freeman Health System sky camera. 19 degrees, only feels like it's 10 right now. And we need to lock in because we're talking about to the point where we're at dangerously cold temps because this is going to be an elongated affair that's going to take us into the weekend. Only looking at highs in the 20s today, and the important part of this is future track because our wintry mix doesn't want to go anywhere. The freezing rain sticks around till the middle of the morning. Then we transition over into more snow for the central and the northern 4 states. Finally rolls through into Thursday, okay? Into Thursday morning is how long we're looking at. Then we get a little bit of a break Thursday afternoon into Friday. Guess what happens Saturday, Tanya? Right back at it with a chance for snow and overnight lows into the single digits. That means we'll be talking about wind chills that'll easily be, -5 to -10.
Man, it's just nasty out there.
Got a question on Facebook. Great question.
Okay.
Record lows this time of year, right? Are we challenging them? No, if you go back to 1909, we had a span of temperatures that ranged from about -12 to -15. Not wind chills. Actual temperatures in 1909.
Well, one thing you want to look out for sure out there is, driving on those roads. This cold weather.
I got another idea. Don't.
Stay home.
Don't.
But if you have to.
You and I are here doing a news show. Everybody else, don't do it.
That's right. But if you have to.
Tanya and I will vouch for that.
Coming up in a few stories, we've got tips on driving on icy weather. We've even got tips to keep your pipes from freezing.
That's excellent. I've got tips too. It's called put a drip in your faucet and don't drive. How about that?
First, before
I just conquered 2 minutes of content in 20 seconds.
There you go. Before we get to those stories, we're going to tell you what's topping national headlines. Opening arguments are slated to begin this afternoon in the second impeachment trial of former President Trump. On Tuesday, the Senate voted to continue with the proceedings after hearing arguments as to its constitutionality. All 50 Democrats said it was constitutional, and they were joined by 6 Republicans. The Nixon, Missouri School District fired an assistant principal who is facing child pornography charges. A court affidavit says 41-year-old Colby Fronterhouse pretended to be a 14-year-old girl, sending sexually explicit messages to a 13-year-old boy. Authorities say Fronterhouse got the boy's cell phone number through school records. He had been placed on administrative leave, but the school board yesterday voted to fire him. The wintry weather has led to dangerous road conditions. Driving on snow, however, is different than driving on ice. While both are slow and hazardous, officials say you can get a little more traction on snow than you can with ice. In either case, the Joplin Police Department says you need to play it safe.
You can gear down. You can just take your foot off the brake some so that you're not completely locking up your brakes, allowing your vehicles, your tires to rotate and get some traction on the roadway.
For the latest road conditions in your state, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com and click on road conditions at the top of the page. Don't forget to drip your faucets during these freezing cold temps, and that's not only good advice, it's the message from the Missouri American Water. They say they've received a number of calls for service and want you to take steps to prevent frozen pipes. Allowing faucets to drip can help, and there are other things you can do as well.
Probably definitely the kitchen. Your bathrooms, just open the cabinet doors. They'll probably be okay, but definitely your kitchen faucet. Might want to think about how to protect your outdoor faucets as well, whether you wrap those, maybe just protect them from the exposure.
Missouri American Water says you can wrap those in newspaper, but your local hardware store likely carries something more substantial with fiberglass insulation. Joplin Fire Department wants to know what you think about them. They're asking residents to fill out a survey about their services and response. Officials say the survey takes less than 5 minutes to complete. The department will use the information to develop plans on how they can improve.
I'm excited to see what our citizens think of the Joplin Fire Department. Are we providing service? And if not, where do we need to improve? So I'm excited to get that honest and open feedback, and anything we get is going to make us a better department in the long run. So I'm excited to see those responses, those answers.
Provided a link to the survey on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. How a team of experts are busting myths on how the pandemic first began. And our own Jesse Irwin has another Wildcat Wednesday. But first, it's 5:37.
Cancellations piling up. KOAMnewsnow.com. Additional school districts continue to come in. Winter weather advisories, slick roads. Best bet, stay off, stay home, be safe. Be back right after this.
Jeremy! Kelly, what are you doing here? This is the perfect place for Valentine's Day.
Well, I love how easy it is to pull up, check in, and get into my room.
I love relaxing at the spa.
Ah, yes, and my husband can play golf while I'm getting pampered.
And the dining is exquisite.
Well, there's so many options.
But the best thing about Downstream, winning! Come experience all there is to love.
Only at Downstream Casino Resort.
Hi, I'm Scott with Windows for Less.
Good Wednesday morning. Michael Hayslip with you in the Skywatch Weather Center. We got a mess on our hands. Everything from snow in the north and central portions, ranging to, more importantly perhaps, the freezing rain along 44 down to the south. Numerous cancellations. Remember, KOAMnewsnow.com. KOAMnewsnow.com. Not only for your list of cancellations, but also road conditions. Best bet today, stay at home.
Numbers, House, Monk, MacGyver, and Nash Bridges.
Oh, this is fun.
Find H&I on KOAM 7.4.
Closed captioning is brought to you by AutoInjury.com and the law offices of Aaron Sachs and Associates, committed to community service.
National Experts is busting myths as it probes how the COVID-19 pandemic first began. Kevin Cork looks at the World Health Organization's preliminary discoveries in China, why the critical investigation almost never took place.
The World Health Organization is shedding light on the possible origin of COVID-19 after a team of experts conducted an investigation and to the outbreak's original epicenter in China. Officials are striking down the theory the virus escaped from a lab in Wuhan, instead claiming the coronavirus was transmitted from animals to humans.
Our initial findings suggest that the introduction through an intermediary host species is the most likely pathways.
The team says the Hunan seafood market is likely one location for the coronavirus outbreak. Officials questioned market workers, discovered where they sourced their products, and tested livestock, but the exact animal culprit is still unknown. The U.S. State Department welcomes these findings with caution.
I wouldn't want to be conclusive yet about any sort of cooperation that the WHO may or may not have received from China.
That's because for months, China originally failed to approve the investigation. That is, until the World Health Assembly suggested they comply. Meanwhile, across the pond, the UK is announcing harsher penalties for violating COVID-19 travel rules, including roughly $14,000 in fines for not properly quarantining, and even prison sentences.
Anyone who lies on the passenger locator form and tries to conceal that they've been in a country on the red list in the 10 days before arrival here will face a prison sentence of up to 10 years.
U.S. officials say they will continue consulting the WHO findings while also collecting their own intelligence on the origins of COVID-19. New data suggests Russia's COVID-19 death toll may be one of the highest in the world and much higher than earlier reports suggested. Russia's Federal Statistics Agency released new figures Monday indicating that as many as 162,429 deaths can be attributed to COVID-19 in 2020. Russia had previously reported just over 57,000 COVID-19 deaths. That's according to data published by the country's coronavirus task force. Based on the figures released Monday, Russia would rank as the country with the fourth highest number of COVID-19 deaths, behind the United States, Brazil, and Mexico. Well, a member of the New Zealand Parliament was ejected because he was not wearing a tie. Rawiri Watiti, the co-leader of the country's Maori Party, was asked to leave the chambers on Tuesday. It's all because of a tie mandate for male lawmakers. And Watiti was wearing a traditional greenstone necklace that he says is a nod to his native people. Watiti has described ties as colonial nooses and says force him to observe a Western dress code. Forcing him to do that is a breach of his rights and an attempt to suppress indigenous culture. We're going to have a conversation with Michael if we could get the double boxes here. I actually would probably agree with him. Honestly, Dylan, can we get 2 boxes here?
Dylan, you got me?
Just take up Michael.
That's all right, I'll wait. I'm with him. You go ahead and you talk about the British Royals.
All right, I'll do that.
I'm going to strip off that tie.
You go, Watiti.
You know, do we have a jacket mandate here? What's up, New Zealand?
Michael's behind you. There you go. You know what? If I had a tie on, I'd take it off too.
I know.
I think that's true. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. What's up,
He's wearing his own version of a tie, basically.
Exactly.
Is what he's wearing.
What you got? Hey, you just came off your birthday.
I did.
Which coincidentally enough falls by Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Right? All right, so we're going to put the age-old debate on the KOM News Now Facebook page and our morning Insta poll. Who pays on the first date? Now, Tanya, I want to point something out. Before I get to this first comment, I feel like in the past we must have asked a question close to this, or Kelly Dodge herself has told me this story.
Okay.
Because I know this story, and I promise I am not the dude that I'm about to tell you about, like, in Kelly's comment.
I hope not.
It's not me.
I hope not.
It's not, folks, I promise you, it's not me. But I know this story from somewhere, I can't figure it out. Okay, we got to take VO or computer, like, we got to do something. All right, let's roll. All right, so Kelly says, too funny, just talked about this last week. But for some reason, I know Kelly's story specifically. Went to prom decades ago, Plaza 3, KC. Gonna pick up my dates tab until he ordered filet mignon. Well done. And that's why she didn't. I don't know why I remember this, but I remember the story from Kelly Dodge saying, I was gonna pay, and then he pulled this. I thought that was great. Cindy Ivy said, man should pay. I'm old-fashioned that way, and says, my husband did on our first date. Judy Baker says, my brother-in-law told me always go Dutch, because if you let a guy buy as much as a Coke, he'll try to squeeze it all out of you. Now, for our Insta poll this morning, right now, 53% of you say the male should buy, 5% say the female. I found this curious, and it's at 0% right now, but the highest earner, that's a particularly personal question to ask on the first date. I'd strongly advise against that. Then again, don't take dating advice from me. News you need to know before you head out the door right after this.
Habitat for Humanity of Crawford County is currently accepting applications for home ownership. Applicants must have lived in the county for at least 1 year, and the application period will close on February 28th. For an application, call 232-3588 or visit hfhcrawford.org.
At General Machinery, we know a broken hydraulic hose or cylinder is never good. That's why we offer full hydraulic cylinder repair and reconditioning along with hydraulic and pneumatic hoses custom made to order while you wait. We'll have you back up and running at General Machinery, Pittsburgh, serving the area since 1912.
Our slots are hot, our cards are shuffled, and our jackpots are explosive at Kansas Crossing Casino. Whatever you're looking for, there's something here for everyone. So walk away a winner at Kansas Crossing Casino, Pittsburgh, Kansas. You're gonna dig it.
When you let the good in, great things happen.
Introducing Do Good, Feel Good, here to provide service and recognize local community members who go above and beyond. We've chosen a group that needs us this year more than ever, Classroom Heroes. Visit moclassroomheroes.com to nominate and to vote today.
Remember, when you do good, you feel good.
You'll feel good about Landers. Shop Landers Chevrolet of Joplin today.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Opening arguments are slated to begin this afternoon in the second impeachment trial of former President Trump. On Tuesday, the Senate voted to continue with the proceeding after hearing arguments as to its constitutionality. All 50 Democrats said it was constitutional, and they were joined by 6 Republicans. Nixon, Missouri School District fired an assistant principal who is facing child pornography charges. Court affidavit says 41-year-old Colby Fronterhouse pretended to be a 14-year-old girl, sending sexually explicit messages to a 13-year-old boy. Authorities say Fronterhouse got the boy's cell phone number through school records. He had been placed on administrative leave, but the school board yesterday voted to fire him. Wintry weather has led to dangerous road conditions. Driving on snow, however, is different than driving on ice. While both are slick and hazardous, officials say you can get a little more traction on snow than you can with ice. In either case, the Joplin Police Department says you need to play it safe. And for the latest road conditions in your state, you can go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, and click on road conditions at the top of the page. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And the best advice today, Tanya, with the freezing rain and snow that we've had, especially as you move to the south, stay inside. Try to stay off the roads if at all possible, because we've already got multiple reports of accidents today as the bitter cold remains and pushes us toward the weekend with overnight lows in single digits. More KOAM Morning News right after this.
Buy more, save more.
during the fantastic 4-day sale at Furniture Row. That's 4 fantastic days to save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. With the best selection at the lowest prices guaranteed, it's the perfect time to design a new living room, dining room, bedroom, and mattresses. Check out doorbusters while they last. Or get free gifts with qualifying purchase. Plus 7 years no interest and free shipping. But don't wait. The fantastic 4-day sale at Furniture Row ends Monday.
How to solve life's problems. Let's start with a few yes or no questions to assess how you feel. Am I happy? Am I grateful? Do I like my job? Do I feel great? Do I spend enough time on my education? The reason why these quick questions are important is that you want to adjust your strategy if you answer no to any one of them. Often we go through life unhappy, ungrateful, and feeling bad for way too long. If something is wrong in your life, acknowledge it quickly and then find a solution. These questions are not only about yourself, but when you're happy and in a good mood, you can lift the spirits of the people in your life. That's why I focus on fixing my own happiness first. Otherwise, you can't make your spouse, family, or others happy. I want you to have a great day today. God wants you to be happy.
Between the wildlife, wilder drivers, and wild weather, it's a real jungle out there. When accidents happen, remember Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing. It's your right to choose a repair facility. Make it easy. Choose Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing of Pittsburgh, Kansas. We know accidents can be stressful and confusing. That's why we handle all aspects of the claims process for our customers. Do yourself a favor. The next time life on the road gets wild, call Larry Barrett Body Frame and Towing in Pittsburgh.
Well, I'm not sure if anybody's told you, but we have some good friends at Wildcat Extension who like to come on one day in particular, and that is Wildcat Wednesday. And that's why this morning we are fortunate enough to be joined by our friend Cherry Nelson. Cherry, I love talking to you about this stuff. How are you?
Good. How are you, Jesse?
I'm fantastic, and I'm excited to be able to talk to you about the Wildlife Project because 4-H offers a lot, right? And as we start a new year after a unique year for all of us, but especially for 4-H and for Wildcat Extension, you're really hitting the ground running here. So explain to me what the Wildlife Project is.
Sure. We're doing a series of different exploring 4-H projects. So the first one we chose was wildlife. And the Wildlife Project is all-encompassing. It could be you're learning about wildlife tracks, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, whatever. So we chose to talk about birds. The sports fishing project part of the wildlife is also part of the Wildlife Project. So we have a lot of kids that like to do the fishing project. But we decided to focus on birds right now. So it was just a fun little activity that we could do with the kids.
Well, I love it. Show us what you got for us today. I know you got an activity?
Sure. We did this activity with the kids. It's basically just making a simple little bird seed bell feeder. And so I'm going to tilt my camera and we'll show you what we did.
Okay, cool.
So this is a very simple little project. Anybody can do it. We basically, what you need is just some kind of little container that you can pour the bird seed in. You can use clay pots lined with wax paper if that's what you had, but we had a lot of these little soup bowls in the office, so we decided to use that. We put some yarn, which this yarn is something that when the birds finish the feeder, they can take this yarn and they'll put it in their nest. So, sometimes when you look at bird nests, you see all kinds of different things in their nest. And so that's something they can use in their nest. The supplies you're going to need some hot water. You're going to need some gelatin, just the clear gelatin, about a half a packet of that. I'm going to pour that in the bowl, along with the hot water, and we're going to dissolve that. Stir that around till it's dissolved. And once we get that dissolved down, we're going to put some K-Rose syrup in it. Now, K-Rose syrup, we're using that just as a binding agent, so when we make our bell, it'll stick together better. It's important that you get all this dissolved, because next you're going to take bird seed and some flour. You can use cornmeal or flour. We used flour because that's what we had on hand. And it's got a cup of bird seed and a quarter cup of flour or cornmeal. And you're going to pour that in. And then you're going to stir that all up. Doesn't that look yummy? Aren't you ready to eat, Jesse?
I've never wanted bird feed more.
Well, this bird seed in particular is a Songbird mix. It's got some golden millet, it's got some milo, it's got some sunflower seeds. This will attract a whole lot of different types of birds. Different birds like different things. So once you kind of get that all stirred up, you're going to put that into your cup. And then you're going to tie a knot in that so it's knotted up at the bottom.
Okay. Huh.
And then once we're done, you're going to sit this in the freezer for a couple hours. And when it's done, you're going to have a Bell bird seed feeder.
Cherry, that is awesome. Thank you for walking us through that. We're going to make sure we have all the supplies on our website. But thank you so much for sharing with us a little bit of the Wildlife Project.
Sure, we're glad to do it. And I hope that the 4-Hers that are watching out there think about doing the Wildlife Project.
Love it. Well, hey, we're going to have the information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Just go to our morning show page. We've got our Wildcat Wednesdays on there, along with a lot of other activities you can do right there in your house. But Cherry, thank you. We'll be right back after this.